I'm John. I'm the head of admissions here at Think Tank. This is my buddy Sean Morris, who is located down in southern Texas and working for Gunfire Games as an environment artist.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for doing this with me. I appreciate it as always.
Of course.
Sean, what were you doing before Think Tank?
I was a district sales manager for a chemical corporation for like 4 years.
I remember this vividly.
Yeah, very
Uh,
different.
very, very different. What prompted you to start looking into going to school to become an environment artist?
I had always wanted to be an artist, and to be totally transparent, I wasn't a very good one, and I had hopped around some ideas. I'd been in tattoo shops. I had done quite a few things, and then during the pandemic, I discovered I really enjoyed 3D art, and so I thought this was a good way to do it. And I discovered Think Tank somewhere along the way, and I wanted to find the best place that would fit into my life and my hectic work life for me to pursue that, and Think Tank ended up being the best option for that. And at the age of 30, I got sick of running Excel all day and talking to clients on the phone and selling chemicals, and I just figured it was time, and I pulled the trigger. And I think, John, you were the very first person I ever talked to, um, and just decided from then and there.
So it was just me, right? Like you talked to me and you're like, "That's it. I got to go to this place."
Yeah, it was that was 100% it was.
But do you did some research into other schools, right?
I did. I
Yeah.
looked into quite a few, and because Think Tank offered the online, because it was so high regarded, and then plus, I mean, like I looked up students' work and talked to them personally. I would reach out to them and say, "Hey, your work is amazing. What do you think about this?" And all of them said it was good, and I just wanted to do it.
Fantastic. Okay, so you joined Think Tank.
Mhm.
What was the experience like of being in the program?
It was intense. The one thing that I tell people all the time that want to join, it is an intense program, and it's not intense in the way that it frazzles you, but it puts you in the mode to you're going to work really hard, and you have to stay in that mode,
Okay.
and it throws so much at you so quick that at some point you really get it and it really snaps, but you have to put in the work to do it. And it was kind of like a boot camp. It was an art boot camp, and you know what? It worked.
It worked.
It
Okay.
worked.
Okay, so before we get to the it worked part,
Mhm.
I part of this whole alumni, celebration series that I'm doing here is part of the I almost quit moment.
Mhm.
I think everybody, as they go into that sort of art mentality, runs into a friend, a family member, the world, the internet that says you can't be successful doing this. Like art isn't a
Sure.
career. Or it happens in school where you have like the imposter syndrome, right? Like, did you have a moment where you were like, I'm out?
I didn't have a moment. I had many moments. Um, and I think it's part of the process. I know several points in the program where I was overwhelmed because I was simultaneously running a business and doing this, which was I maybe, I didn't sleep very much at all. And I had a lot of people around me saying, well, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but I had enough people in my life going, truck driving's really good right now, or you could work on wind turbines. I don't know why you're leaving this business. And it wasn't it, a lot of them never grasped it's not about like it's about doing something that I wanted to do every day. And then, you get a little burnout sometimes. You're working a whole lot and you can lose sight of your own work. And there were several points where I was like, man, I'm just not good enough at this, or I'm not there's no way that I can live up to X and Y expectation. And you just kind of shovel through and you move on and you just continue working.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's a really good answer. I like that. I'm gonna just quickly share my screen here because I want to show everybody Sean's art station. Um, go on ArtStation, look up Sean Morris, you'll find him. And this is his term by term, like term 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 4 16-week terms in the program, but the progression is just astronomical as you went through this. So you this final project, you work one on one with an industry mentor that you picked. Who is your mentor?
I had Jude Godan as my mentor.
Okay, fantastic. That's really amazing. Um, what was that process with Jude like?
So I think when you have a mentor that is one on one, you need to um it's a relationship that is very much give and take, right? So with Jude specifically, um he was very big picture minded, and I understood that about him, and I understood that he really liked the geez, I can't think of the word right now. The overall composition. He was a very big composition guy. And so I would make big swaths of changes, and I would go to him and I'd be like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And he would offer me some advice to help curtail it. And then some of my biggest moments at Think Tank, not only in mentorship but otherwise, were moments of self-discovery and moments of I always call them light bulb moments when I speak to students and I speak about my journey. Is there's something along the way where it just clicks in your head and you go, I understand this.
Right.
And so that pairing with a mentorship was really, really powerful.
That's awesome. So you graduated back in, I think, end of 2024, like September 2024. Is that right?
Yes, September, yes.
Okay. So it took a few months after graduation for you to find your first opportunity. What are
hmm
you doing now?
So I am an environment artist for Gunfire Games, and I've been so for somewhere around like a year and I'm not gonna say a half, but I'll say a year and almost a half now.
Cool. That's fantastic. Okay, you've had that opportunity. What is it like being in the industry? Like good, bad, amazing, weird?
I love it. I've done a lot of jobs in my life up until this, and not one of them have I been excited to go to work and like be glad to get up every day. But like this job I am. I'm glad that I get to do what I get to do. I'm really excited for the day that I can see my name and credits and show everybody. But it's been fulfilling to hone a skill and use it every single day.
That is absolutely wicked. So there are a lot of people out there, like I kind of alluded to, that have probably been, pushed down by others, or they get scared of everything that you read on the internet and the negativity and all that kind of stuff. Is there a piece of advice you'd give to somebody who's considering going into this or who's already in school?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a two-parter for me. One is work hard. It's so cliche, but it's super true. Even when you're feeling really down about it, just remember that like there is an end to it. And by the time you get to the end, this mountain you've been climbing looks like a little molehill. And then you move on to the next thing, right? Secondly, is use your tools and use the your abilities. My ability is I talk all the time. I spent my entire career talking, and I would always seek out people in the industry. The community is so big. It's not just people in AAA, it's people in indie. There's so many discords and forums and groups of people out there that are doing this in different ways and facets that you can learn from and get to know and be friends with. And it's a whole thing just outside of the work of doing art. It's getting to know who you're doing your art for.
That's awesome. Well, you know what? That kind of plays into something that I've talked about a lot in my career, just working with so many students over the last 20 some years. There are two things that sort of spell success in this industry. One is the portfolio. Like if you don't have the chops and the skills,
Sure.
there's nothing we can do. And that takes work. And work beats out talent every time.
Yeah.
The second one is people hire people. And I think I've said this in one of the other interview things I did, and it's really interesting. Like you've worked in careers leading up to this where you talk to people, and a lot of it's based on personality. But you were the first hire at Gunfire last year, and there have been three other think tank grads that got brought into Gunfire since you,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is really cool. Because and we've seen that a lot. Like Icon Creative hired, I think, something like 15 grads since the beginning of September. Sony Pictures Imageworks has hired like nine. EA's hired four or five of them last year, and I honestly I hadn't heard of Gunfire until you posted on LinkedIn, and then we had our Zoom call and high fived and all that. I was like, this is cool. What do these guys do, right? And
Yeah.
now all of a sudden we're starting to see more and more, and that's partly because of you and people seeing the work that you did and the personalities that come out of think tanks. So, Sean, thank you so much for this, and for being an awesome person. Um,
Thank you.
Sean is also a TA for Think Tank. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Um,
Yeah, come on by.
and it was fun because when we had Sean's congratulations Zoom conversation, one of the things that Sean told me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in this, was that when he had his contract talks with Gunfire, he asked them very very nicely that he really wanted to still be a TA.
Yes. It's important for me. I think the last thing I'll like wrap up with and share with is as intense as the program is. I'm not a fast learner. I bang my head against the wall trying to figure stuff out, and so now when I do TA stuff, I let my my head against the wall be somebody else's advantage because I'm going to teach you the simple way to do it.
Awesome. So good. Dude, thank you so much once again. Kaiju, your new dog is very cute. I can't wait
Yes,
at some point for you and me to be in the same room where we can have our doggies running around. That'll
I would
happen at
love
some
that.
point.